Coming up next on YoTV, we got hip hop with Elemental P.
We got Yo Thoughts over there on Geary Street in the Sco.
We got New Beat Diaries with Jason Treyas.
And a protest down in LA and up in Sac.
Welcome to YoTV. I'm your host, Ann.
And I'm Paul. How y'all doing? We over here at Coit Tower, overlooking the city. Yada I mean. What you got for us today, Ann?
What I have for you is Elemental P. Coming up next, they're a hip-hop group that come from Daly City, El Camino High School, if you guys know where that's at. But they do a lot of local stuff here in the Bay Area, so go ahead and check it out and see what they're all about.
This is Dark Side.
This is the Dark Side. This was the very first studio that ever originated like anything. Like
The first official studio.
Yeah, like it was not even a studio. It was like some jank turntables where we ripped instrumentals, and we all came over here to start writing.
Rappers ain't we, and we ain't like all rappers. The lyrics come naturally.
Majority of my life, been here in the South Sco. Met these guys all through El Camino as a MC or a poet or whatnot, a graffiti artist. We all came together through the means of hip hop.
It's not that we woke up one day, put on some baggy clothes, and you know what I'm saying, got lined up and said, I'm gonna be hip hop today. You know what I'm saying?
When you feeling with your presumptions, tell me that we all carry guns, low
I'm mainly their showcase controller, basically. I don't know. I basically helped them out on the DJ side. Like, performance is probably one of their most important parts of their group. It actually shows a persona to people.
There was this one time on the Samtrans, right? We were just going home from school, and I was all like to D, we were just floating the bus, and it was like, okay, whatever. And then I was like, hey, D, what if we did something with the streets? You know what I'm saying? What if we went far with this? He's like, shut the fuck up, we Filipino. And that was just our motivation.
Like all rappers, the lyrics come naturally.
When we first, I'm talking about 1997, you know, people was 16, 17, 18 years old, like, they didn't take it serious, you know what I'm saying? Just because, like, unfortunately, because of our skin color, you know, nowadays people are a lot more accepting of anybody who rap, you know. I mean, the Latinos are blowing up in rap right now. You know, they got the reggaeton movement, and they're just more accepting of a more diverse person they look at. But when we first started, like, man, the only shows that we would do were thrown by Filipino people.
Really, what I want for the future is for my grandchildren, for Eve's grandchildren, for everybody's grandchildren, for their kids, for their kids' kids, for them to be able to put that CD that we made, for that art that we made, put that thing, if they still have CD players, for them to be able to put that in and be like, and still be able to feel it. You know what I'm saying? Like, Papa, is that you on the stereo system?
I mean, yes, I can't wait to battle my grandkids.
That's me. Basically, our thing is we don't front. If we ain't got it, we ain't gonna talk about it. So we just speak about what goes on in our personal everyday lives, and we truly feel like that's what hip hop is. If you rap, you're gonna rap about what's around you, what goes on day to day. You know, we don't talk about cars because I got a bucket.
When we put together music, it's something that someone could pop in their CD player and just be like, all right, I went through that.
Yo, we are Elemental P and you're watching
YoTV.
Yes!
Your boy.
So wake up.
Coming up next on YoTV, we got new Yo Thoughts. This time we went out and talked to people on Geary Street over in the Richmond district in San Francisco. We talked about iPods, we talked about poker, and we talked about the London bombings and how it affects us here in San Francisco. So go ahead and check it out.
My name is Kathy, I'm 14 and I'm from San Francisco.
My name is William, I'm 18 and I'm from San Francisco, California.
Hi, my name is Owen, I'm from Ireland and I'm 20.
My name is David Quality, I'm from Kerry back in Ireland and I'm 19.
Yeah, me and my buddies, we play poker almost every weekend.
Well, I have one friend that used to go to my school that plays internet poker.
Sometimes we let the girls play, it's, you know.
Are they good or do they suck?
Nah, they're not very good. Girls don't know how to bluff.
I'm not interested in that game.
Playing Texas Hold'em, it's kind of, we kind of get competitive, we play for a few dollars, you know. Basically it's just good crack, good buzz.
I don't play poker, no.
Why don't you play poker? Hold 'em?
Because like, I'm not a gambler. Gambling is a bad thing, like, you know, once you get hooked in it then like you can't really stop, so if you don't start, you don't get addicted, so that's why I don't start.
Yeah, I whoop their butts pretty good every week.
The most I've ever won is maybe $100, which would be about €80. So, you know, it's not much money, but it's, you know, maybe $10 a head. So it's cool, I like it, it's a really good game.
Well, I have an iPod, it's in my purse. You want to see it right now?
Yeah.
It was $300, so.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's hella big.
That's my most prized possession, like an iPod. Like, mine's 20 gigabytes. It can hold up to around 6,000 tracks. Like, I listen to it going everywhere. Like, if I had a chance. But I've no computer access here, so you know, it's kind of hard to charge it up. So.
Actually, yeah, I just bought one today.
Today?
Went down to the iPod store and bought one. Yeah.
How long have you had your iPod?
About 6 months, I think.
What do you do with it?
Listen to music, basically. I've got like a lot of albums back home. I've got like maybe over 10,000 songs, so I kind of have a lot of music, so I actually need more space on my iPod.
Yeah, I think definitely that we should up security more because, I mean, the more security we have to protect people's lives, like the more safe that you can feel around, like walking around and stuff.
Well, it's kind of like an invasion of privacy.
I mean, it's public transportation, so people should just put up with it because the government provides it.
Well, there's already cameras on the bus.
I'm going back home next week, so I'm flying through Heathrow, so it's gonna be a lot tougher security, and it's just gonna be really hard to get home now because they're gonna be a little bit more vigilant over everything. But it's tough because I've got cousins over in London, and they actually go on that bus or that train that was blown up. So, no, Jesus, it could happen to anyone. So it is scary. It's really scary at the moment, but I suppose that's this place we live in at the moment, you know.
Go ahead and check out our website at youthoutlook.org.
Oh boy, what's that in Pimp Soup? Okay, we are Powell and Greenwich here at, I think this is Columbus Park. I used to play baseball here when I was a kid. Yes, I did.
Were you good?
Oh, yes, I was.
Did you make home runs and all the good stuff?
Oh boy, still stole all the time, if you feel me. But anyway, next we're gonna check out Jason's Beat Diaries, you know what I'm saying? Y'all remember Jason last time we spoke to him?
I grew up in a poor neighborhood. My father was getting locked up. You are what you experience. I was becoming what I was experiencing in my neighborhood. And what I was experiencing as a young man was drug sales, drugs in my home, my parents on drugs, people that I grew up with involved in gang. I was just kind of following the same path that all the rest of my generation was following, which was one that led us into the gutters and the trenches of life.
This time we was talking to him, he's doing better. And we was talking to him about teaching art classes. Check it out.
When I paroled, I didn't know where I was gonna live. I didn't know what county I was going to, what city I was going to, what house I was going to. My original plan was to move to Stockton, which is San Joaquin County in the Central Valley. Come to find out after I paroled that was denied, and I was gonna be released in San Francisco County because that's where I was arrested at. That was my county of commitment, what they call. What happened with that was I was dropped off out here and I didn't know nobody in San Francisco. I didn't have a place to stay. What did help me was PNS and The Beat Within and David Innocencio and Catherine Black and Matt Malamed and Michael Zach and all the other great folks that work here who I met when I got out, giving me a job, giving me an opportunity despite all the stereotypes, despite everything that I had been through in my life and the things that I admit to in my life, which are embarrassing, I'm ashamed of, some bad things that I did when I was young. But despite all that, they had faith that I had transformed my tip mentality, and that, you know, I was determined to do something more positive out here, and to give me an opportunity to do that with them, to get a job and to have for the first time in my life, a legitimate income. The things that I could have got that would have helped me more is more support from the parole department and from the state, from the system. They basically released me after 10.5 years in prison with no education, no vocational training, and gave me $200 and told me, here, you gotta go get a hotel. And a hotel was $175 a week, you know? So, okay, I could buy a hotel for a week, but what am I gonna do after that? You know, they didn't offer me no jobs, they didn't offer me no vouchers, they didn't give me clothing, they didn't give me food, nothing. Definitely probably one of the highest points would have to be completion of the first mural at Columbia Park Boys and Girls Club. You know, that when we completed that mural, then we had that dedication ceremony. That was a real big stepping stone for me, you know, and giving me confidence that I can do this project.
I participated in a dialogue with the youth here in the community where we translated their language that was written into a visual language that translates, you know, and transcends all the borders, all the cultures that has international theme to it. You know, we participated in this dialogue that was revolutionary in this community, you know, that brought people together from different backgrounds, from different neighborhoods, you know.
I discovered that culture and politics were a great incentive, you know. I use that as an incentive to try to get at them and tell them, you know what? If you're from 19th Street or 24th Street and you're claiming this block and you'll die for this block, man, these blocks ain't gonna be around forever, homeboy. You know, look at Valencia Gardens, look at the Jets, you know? Look at Army Street. These are sets and hoods and barrios that, you know, people did die for, you know? And they're not even there no more. Not only couldn't I let myself down and the people that supported me down, but now I had all these kids who are on the verge of getting into what I was getting into, depending on me. My orientation now towards these kids is to use the same means that I used and other people used to influence me to change. And how, you know, Diego Rivera convinced me, and how Mao Zedong convinced me, and how George Jackson convinced me, and Che Guevara convinced me. All of these people convinced me, you know. It goes back to the story that I've told a million times since I've been out, you know, about that old Africano in San Quentin on death row who's condemned to die, you know, and he is probably one of the most beautiful examples of humanity that I know inside the prison system, telling me, you know, you are gonna become what you experience. You're gonna grow up in prison. Do you wanna become a product of this environment? Do you wanna be like the rest of these men coming in and out, you know? Or do you wanna become something greater? And I chose to be something greater.
All right, coming up next for you on YoTV, we covered a protest over in Sacramento. It's about how the government wants to start marking licenses to tell people who's an illegal immigrant and who's not. This could be a good thing, but it could also be bad. It can lead to lots of discrimination and bad things like that. So go ahead and get informed with this next segment.
So today it's just an expression of frustration. I think our communities are really tired and sick of politicians promising licenses and politicians trying to pass all these anti-immigrant laws. Senator Cedillo is proposing a license that's gonna be marked. All undocumented immigrants are gonna have a green mark around their license, you know. So they basically doing what Hitler did with the Jews. We brought about more than 200 people here, you know, from all over the Bay Area, from San Jose. People from Sacramento came out to support us.
Today we're trying to make them listen to it. We want to express ourselves, like we're trying to tell them what's on our mind, what we want.
We're here to tell Arnold Schwarzenegger that we want our license, you know? He's trying to give, you know, not trying to give immigrants their license. He's trying to put marks on their license.
These licenses are for immigrants, that we are still immigrants, and that we don't have complete rights.
The police, if they know that you're an immigrant, they arrest you, they take you to the migration, even if that is illegal to do, they do that.
It's gonna be a trap for discrimination, not only with applying to, you know, healthcare or whatever.
Let's say you go to the job, you apply, and the hiring manager looks at your ID and he sees immigrant on there. Now, would you wanna hire an immigrant or a citizen?
There is no reason why they should mark us. We are not doing anything wrong in this country. We are just workers, and we are not terrorists and nothing of that.
We're here to feed our kids, to put food on the table, for our families.
People say that we take their jobs, and that's actually something that the anti-immigrant movement uses a lot to pin down working class people. What the immigrants are doing for this economy is huge. They're providing billions and billions of dollars through income taxes, to sales taxes. They're buying property, they're starting new businesses. So what the new population that is doing to this economy, to this country, is actually making it grow.
The reason why this matters to me is because I came from an immigrant family, and I know how hard it was for them to cross the border and you know, come up, as in feed their families, because they had a lot of kids. You know, a lot of immigrant families tend to have a lot of kids, so we need somehow to support our families.
I think it's important to me because personally, my mom she just became a citizen. She just got her license, and I think she's happy. She gets to, you know, she has a car now. She doesn't have to take the bus late at night. She doesn't have to worry about, you know, she's a woman. She gets to drive her car, take it home. She doesn't have to worry about walking in the streets late at night because she has a car now.
All right, hey, welcome back. We down here at Pier 1. Next we got a protest coming up.
Yeah, there's this protest down in LA at Baldwin Park over this monument that's shaped like an arch. And some people feel like it's racist and other people feel like it's not.
And our own folks, Catalina went down there herself and got harassed by the police. So you're gonna check that out too. Yeah, have a look.
The monument is basically, it looks like an arch. It's called Danzas Indígenas. It has some inscriptions written on the arch. One says, "It was once Mexican, Indian, always is and will be again," or something like that. And I think the quote's by Gloria Anzaldúa. And another quote that she wrote was, "It was better before they came." And the Save Our State people interpret it as Judith Baca making a statement about whites, which is not true. Save Our State is what they call themselves, a grassroots organization that works to protect their families against illegal immigrants.
Back to Mexico. Not Mexican. My mom was born in Mexico. We came legally. You understand that concept?
One of the recent campaigns is trying to get this memorial that's in Baldwin Park to be taken down because they feel that some of the inscriptions on the monument are racist towards white people. But if they did their research, they would know that they're not. The quote, "It was better before they came," was something that whites had actually said about Mexicans when Latinos started moving into Baldwin Park. My boyfriend Gabriel and I and our friend who's visiting from France, Eve, decided to attend the protest. Not necessarily to protest, but to cover the story, just to take some pictures, interview some people. The police had blocked off all entrances to the protest, and you know, we listened to them whenever they said we couldn't get through, we didn't go through. Finally, we're walking down the mile that they told us to walk, and we saw that there was a little alleyway that led to some railroad tracks. And from the railroad tracks, you were able to see where the protests were. So we went down the alley, didn't see any, you know, no trespassing signs anywhere, so we decided to walk down. Further we walked down, we noticed that there were some cops at the end of the way. So when he reached where the cops were, they motioned him to go to the side. And he tells us to sit on the curb, and we ask him why, and he said, "Well, you're under arrest for trespassing." They weren't doing that to anybody else except people who they categorized as Latinos or Hispanics. There was people from Save Our State who were going in the same way we were, and they let them go through.
I haven't heard yet of one Minutemen protester being arrested.
I mean, to a certain extent, though, I do think it was a race issue because I didn't see any other whites under arrest.
When I was in the cell, I saw the majority were there were Latin or Latino or Mexican or other, brown nationality.
They made it so that if there were more than 30 people on a corner, someone would get arrested.
One of the other guys in the cellmate told me that just being like 20 feet away near the protesters was going to get you arrested.
For hours, at least an hour, they couldn't figure out what to book us with. I mean, they were sitting, I could hear them saying, "Well, I don't even know why they're here." They made me sit on the floor where they were bringing everybody in. Of course, the floor is gross. It's full of pubic hairs and blood and just disgusting. Most of all, what disturbed me was their lack of just feeling like we're human beings. We weren't there for murder. We were there for trying to cover the story, and other people were too. Well, I've always been raised, ever since I was little, to respect cops and to think that they're there to serve and protect you and all that stuff. And walking out of that jail at 7 o'clock at night, I was my spirit was broken. I was disillusioned with everything. my world had been turned upside down. I had no idea that they could be so horrible to people. And feeling so powerless was such a horrible experience. And I mean, I felt like that before, but to be enclosed somewhere and to have nobody there to protect you or to fight for you is just ridiculous.
All right, thanks for tuning in. That's about it. All we got for you today. Check us out, same yo time, yo same TV, yo same time, yo same channel.
You can also check us out at Channel 29 in San Francisco the third Tuesday of every month at 8 p.m. Or check us out at the website at youthoutlook.org. You can see Paul there.
Oh boy.
See some of his stories. You check out the music, the art, the fashion, all that good stuff we have. Email us at yotv@youthoutlook.org. And also check us out on MySpace. We'll see you next time. Does that mean I'm cool, Paul? It's all about the licenses that are being marked. Basically, the mark tells you